Can you paint a picture, Chris, of what this would have looked like during the construction phase?
Yes, I can. It would be, well, it wouldn't have been quite as noisy as it is now, because there wouldn't be any water, obviously, in the canal at the time. But the sort of sounds I think you would have heard, or what's evocative for me, would be all the masons that are chipping away on the sandstone blocks that are being brought in from all around the quarries. You would have had supporting people like the carpenters that are making the frames for the lifting of the blocks, the scaffolding. You would have had people pitching up to the caterers that people have to eat. So it would have been a real bustle. There would have been specialised tradesmen, like, as I say, like the masons, and we actually found many masons' marks on the blocks in these lock chambers when we dewatered them a few years back to replace the gates. There's hundreds of them, and the mason's mark is individual to a mason or a mason's family. And what they would do is they bring their crates of stone in, they put the chisel their mark in, and they'd get paid per pallet of stone, because you knew that the mason's mark of a triangle belonged to such and such, and it was an accounting mechanism, if you like. So it would have been very busy, very noisy, less water, but nevertheless still noisy. And once the canal opened, then it really got going, because remember, we're in quite a rural situation, and there was a settlement here at Fort Augustus, and there's the fort across the road there. But many of these buildings have sprung up because of the trade coming through. And if you can imagine, you're a captive. If you're on a boat and you're taking an hour to travel up here, you're pretty much a captive audience. So any passengers, the crew, the staff, hop off the boat, get a bite to eat. There's been entertainment. There's a famous gentleman, or an infamous gentleman called the Lion Man, who I think he did shooting across Africa and leopards in India, and he'd set up a little exhibition and charge a shilling to regale his adventures and look at the pelts of exotic animals. And you'd have ships, you'd have trade coming in that's probably originated on the other side of the world, that's been transported through here, peppercorns, mace, exotic materials, as well as the usual stuff of wood and coal and grain. And I would imagine if you were a small child, a small boy or girl on the lock side, it would have just been a whole new world coming to you, rather than you having to reach out to the world. It's coming to you on your doorstep. So I think it would have been very exciting. Lots of different people, lots of different nationalities, lots of loose language, a colourful environment, I would say, to work and live in.
And as the years progressed, there would be more and more buildings springing up.
Absolutely, and I think a significant event was when Queen Victoria travelled the canal. Now, apparently, she said of the lock, she said, although very interesting, a little tedious. Now, how true that is, I'm not sure, but I can get what she's saying. Once you're on there, you're taking a good hour to get up there. But once he visited in the 1870s, 1873, that really started the tourist trade. So people flocked to the canal, following Queen Vic's footsteps, as it were. And there is a small memorial to Queen Victoria in the village there. So that took on that gave the canal a different life. It wasn't just trade now, it was tourism. It was opening the Highlands to tourism, and this is what the town now thrives on. You can see the amount of tourists that come through, and the tourist buses that arrive every day. So that was really down to Queen Victoria setting that tone 130 odd years ago.